Angeles. I am so excited. This show was supposed to be in May, but I could not get my shiz together to make that happen. So I got it together for June. And you know what's funny is we're doing Howl. Howl, reflecting in the light in some weird way. It's so short, and you can listen to it, but I still couldn't manage to read it till like a week ago. And then after I read it, I was like, I'm so excited to read this because I've never read it. And it, of course, is by the famous beat poet Allen Ginsberg. And then I couldn't write a song, just to put it shortly. I didn't know what I thought of this poem. I really could not figure myself out. I called my dad, who's an English teacher. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know how I felt about the people in it, the writer, the different voices. So this was interesting to try to write a song to, at least for me. So I am super excited to see what our other songwriters do. That said, if you are joining us for the first time, this is what we do. We read a book, usually a novel. We have read plays. This time it was a poem. And we get together, we write songs by ourselves in lonely, darkened holes of despair. And then we present them to you in a live format. Usually we're live in person, but since the pandemic, we've been streaming. We're hoping to have a very simple live show of just maybe some songs from past shows, possibly in August. My video sounds low. I'm being told by, I'm just gonna get in here and whisper close to the mic and hope now it's low and sexy. Better. So yeah, we're a group of songwriters. We get together. This was started by Susan Huang in Brooklyn, New York, Bushwick. That's why it's called the Bushwick Book Club. There are chapters all over the world, actually. And Susan is here doing our tech for us. So thank you so much, Susan, because this show, when you're talking to people and spotlighting people on Zoom, is very, very difficult. So we're so thankful to have her running our tech. Now that I've babbled, unlike a beat poet who seems to be more organized with thought than I am going to hand the show over to our first performer, Rupert Angel Eyes. Rupert, you are on.
Yes, thank you. I think babbling is a very important thing to talk about. Yes, I don't know if I like Allen Ginsberg or not. He does babble a lot. And like sometimes I feel like congratulations, you were gay and weird 70 years ago. Like congratulations. It kind of feels frustrating to me, you know. Not a big deal. And I think in the spirit of Howl, I will continue to babble, and I will babble about how I blame Moloch for the strangeness that has encountered me. Moloch, the one who makes me swim into the ocean and I almost drowned. Moloch, the one who swims almost and I have a nice dad. My dad's nice. Moloch, the salamander that squirrels around in my back. Moloch, the one who has shitty poems and I read them sometimes and I go to sleep. Moloch, the old man who tells me about the regimen of their eye drops. Moloch, the cold chills that keep me up at night, even though it's hot as hell. Moloch, my fingernails are falling off. How come it be like that? Why it be like that? Moloch, I had dreams about the devil. Moloch, I'm an atheist though, so I guess that's funny. Moloch, fuck Allen Ginsberg. Moloch, I love Allen Ginsberg. Moloch, pretty much straight up, fuck Allen Ginsberg. I'm saying a lot of F words, I apologize. Moloch, if you will. Here's my song though. It's about writing to a friend, you know. Can I do it? Let's see. Calm down, my baby. The skin is peeling off your head. You're red and sweaty. Go to bed. It's a gold crown and it's heavy. It weighs you down in the dark. Now Moloch knows where your car is parked. But things will change tomorrow. sleeping on your windowsill while you search for some brand new thrills. It's a slow town, but it's heavy. Everywhere you go to drink, somebody stops and they sigh and think. But this'll change tomorrow. This'll change tomorrow. This'll change tomorrow. But long is the lonely life. And many more.
In the
I
true
did my
spirit.
best. I tried.
Well, it just seemed like you truly just went all out, like the stark rave madness that they all lived in right at the end there. Just gave into it.
Yeah. I feel like yeah, that's the thing with the Allen Ginsberg poetry. It's like just rip it and just yeah. I see somebody sitting on the subway, and I talk about them, and I speak loudly. You know, it's like, well, see how far and how profane you can take that. You know.
Well, that's part of it, right? I mean, when I said I called my dad, I really was like, this just sounds like the privileged rantings of like it just sounds like a bunch of people that didn't want to live in society, but then he gave me context, and then I felt kind of dumb for not understanding that in its time, it was very important. And the movement, I don't know, just it was an important movement. And he was homosexual, and that part of it became very controversial. Like his publisher ended up almost going to jail for publishing it. So there were, you know, in its time, it had its place, and now it just sounds like nobody wants a job, capitalism, communism. It confused me. I didn't know how I felt at the end, because if I was 20, I feel like I would have been like, yeah. But now I have 2 kids, and I'm trying to make it day to day, and I was like, no, I don't agree necessarily anymore. I couldn't figure myself out. Anyways, I think we're on the same page with that, Rupert.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to pass it on to our next songwriter. I also wanted to say we don't have the author on this time, obviously, which we have the last couple times. And there is something kind of nice. I mean, I legitimately liked all the things we did when the authors were on, but there is a nice freedom in being able to express that you don't like it and not feel like you're really hurting someone's feelings, you know, that is, or that you didn't get it in the way that they might have wanted you to. All right. Next performer is Nicole Tourtelot.
Hi. I didn't like Allen Ginsberg before I read this poem. I thought I didn't like this poem, but I liked it a little better this time through. My first song was called Fuck Allen Ginsberg, so Rupert Angel Eyes were on the same page. And then I took a page out of your book and made sort of like a found poem song. So some of these lines are Allen Ginsberg's, and others are just weird. And the song is called Hallucinating Arkansas. In the supernatural darkness of the machinery of night, she floats on tops of cities contemplating jazz, wanders doom at midnight, along the railroad track. Down, 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 all the way down. Down by the river where she lost her shoes and walked home barefoot, thinking she was Jesus. And who's to say she wasn't? Nobody knows what Jesus looks like anyhow. Who is the iron god of dreams who stumbles in from New Orleans, whose fireplace is full of poetry? Lofty incantations made ugly in the morning light. Down, 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 all the way down. Down by the ocean where she took off her clothes and dove in naked, pretending that she was a mermaid. And who's to say she wasn't? Nobody knows what mermaids look like anyhow. Who drove cross country in a rented car, burned out the clutch in a shitty dive bar in Brooklyn. Nothing but a little bit of hopeful hallucination. Down, 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 all the way down. She fell off a boat on the 4th of July, swam to an island on the other side of freedom. And who's to say she didn't? Nobody knows what freedom looks like anyhow. This here song is a work of fiction. There aren't any names, so they haven't been changed. But any resemblance to persons living or dead is entirely coincidental.
My gosh, that song was awesome.
You.
That was a really good song. Oh man. Thanks, Nicole. That was Nicole Tourtelot, everyone. I mean, I kind of wanted to be like in a swamp, in a boat when I was listening to it, but it was obviously a song about, city life and, thinking that you're Jesus. Why not? Thank you so much. The next performer has a video, and he is going to introduce his video, and then we are going to play his video. So welcome to the Zoom room, Richard Alwyn.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I wasn't sure how I felt about Allen Ginsberg because I knew I didn't like his friend, William S. Burroughs, so much I thought I might not like any of the beats. But I really enjoyed reading this, and I think it's great of its time. I think it's important to think of how innovative this was for this man to be who he was. And even more than his poetry per se is his character, which, like a lot of people can be sort of insufferable, but yeah, I think I came around. And in writing this, I knew that a buddy of mine, which you'll see in the video, had lifted the first line for a song that he he lifted much better, but I referenced that in this, and yeah, that's all I've got to say. This is sort of a scream of consciousness.
I was the best dressed mind of the generation. I still cracked. I went to college, read the papers, knew the tech was stacked. She said, "You're young, surprised me." I looked around my head and missed the past. Now all the flags are flying quartermass. From Baltimore out to Los Alamos. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Oh, a bunch of kids thought that they might be making a stand. It never looked like I was swinging that red right hand. They scattered like baby juice in the dust. Hanging full of tits, mouth full of views. Everybody wants jazz, all sex, all suit. All the pictures of rock with magic cocklands in. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Out for a little while. When the filter of the skull will no longer admit all the worms of the senses, then you know that's it. Holy Father from Kansas has to come and kick your head again. You burn a hole in your arm with a cigarette. You try to tell me that you're doing it in some protest. The capitalist laughs cause you already bought the whole pack. The politician laughs cause you already paid the sin tax. And Mr. Marshall laughs cause you screwed up on the syntax. Everybody gets a subject to the dominatrix. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Now for a little while. 10 months on the barricades and balustrade. Keeping watch for the snatch with 1,000 eyes. She blinks and says, "Now there's your fucking seraphim." Now she's playing on the theremin. Some song by Duran Duran. Who broke out crying in Fugazi arms, naked and trembling at the skeleton. Greyhounds to a grey town, hiding from the hydrogen. Burning from within, white light like magnesium. Molecule electric bang. You trade ecstasy for cups of water. And how to hold the value and your people always drinking well. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Let's pretend we're somebody else. Let's pretend we're somebody else. For a little while.
Oh man,
Pew, 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 pew.
deadpan is hysterical. Your deadpan is hysterical. I'll get up near the mic. Yeah, I mean that video is awesome.
Thank
Did you used to edit videos before COVID?
No,
It's
this
all
was
a
all
learned skill,
learned
right?
from the Love Hangover. Yeah.
That's what I was going to introduce that as well. So Richard and Gary Burton, Gary has also been on this show with us a couple times. They run maybe you can describe it. It's called The Love Hangover.
It's The Love Hangover. It's a show that I've done for, this is like the 22nd or 23rd year. COVID has destroyed my ability to keep track of time. But yeah, so this year, of course, was The World in the Wire. And we'd spread the show out to where, people were doing this in sort of like the Bushwick Book Club. We have chapters in Raleigh, in Philadelphia, and Providence, Rhode Island, and Toronto, and Kansas City. And so when none of those places were going to have live music, we had everybody send in videos, and we did 3 episodes and just posted them live. And that's where I learned all my video editing skills. If
awesome.
That's how you would call them, I don't know.
And your song is like my inner beast that I have never fully been able to bring out. I love that style, that like punk. Every time I try, it turns into some like singer-songwriter-y thing. I try though. I even tried with my song on this one, and it doesn't end up sounding like that. But thank you so much. Thank you for the video. Thank you for being here. And I am going to introduce our next performer. This is William Belote. Welcome, William.
Hello, everyone. Typical eclectic show from the Bushwick Club here. So I'm reaching back into my archives for this one. This is actually a poem I wrote 30 years ago called Still Howling, with apologies to Allen Ginsberg. Other than a little riff on the first line, it's all original. And, it's interesting to me because 1991, it seemed like a terrible time in so many ways, politically and socially. We're just coming out of Reagan. We're in the first Bush administration. And of course, now he kind of looks like Abraham Lincoln compared to what we had the last 4 years. And I wish Tim were here because this is a very synth-based sonic kind of thing with me doing the poem in my beat vibe. Anyways, Tim's not here. I hope he gets a chance to hear it. All right. We saw the worst minds of our generation ascend to power in a media blitz of mind-bending distortion, heart-rending dispassion for the scum of the earth, the salt of the earth, the seeds of tomorrow, the working man as hypnotist subject, the living woman as farm animal breeder, boardroom token welfare queen, holy mother Madonna, the schizophrenic reflection of an image projected at regular intervals onto a yearning people, stuffed like fatted calves, but unwilling to sacrifice, served like fast food in the church of modern gut-busting convenience. We saw the ray gun of U.S. superiority lock onto itself in a suicide pact with the industrial giants of World War II. Losers of the gas camp selling poison in the Middle East. Atomic test tube babies controlling the Pacific. The Red Menace crumbling like stale bread. The African continent strangled by colonial racism and health organizational death from hypodermic needle. The other Americas buried by papal blessings for a fruitful existence. The entire planet with a hole in the head that apparently requires more study. Robots for leaders. Their minds like a behaviorist chicken pecking responses from cue cards. Their faces aped expressions calculated to please the Nielsen family and segue into killers and cops. Kids are so cute, or let's fuck for the camera. They lead with their bowels. The shit that follows, providing all the talent and connections necessary to provide the perfect backdrop. Photo op. They even read poems. They set the stage and serve hors d'oeuvres. They stroke the audience into a plateau of pleasurable expectation. When their man takes the stage, the simple mention of abstracts like freedom, opportunity, home, morals is enough to create blinding, orgiastic waves of applause, hosanna. standing ramrod straight as a peacekeeper missile, with a Trident sub for a hard-on. The B-actor ad man, or ex-CIA professional liar, or frustrated golfer frat boy, all are capable of kissing the corporate ass, plucking the flower of hope for first-quarter profits and publicity, selling the American dream for a grim reality of tiny them and countless us. And why no saints on TV? Where's the PR for the beatific souls who work anonymously in the cracks on the hide of the monster? Who give true sustenance to the bug-eyed, overstimulated, comatose, hyperactive, sleepwalking, ball-bearing grease monkey corporate gear tooth? Cosmic spokes that forgot to speak up and claim their righteous share of the Father's will. And no more. God help us plain folk who tithe in communion to the high priest of brand name heaven, a universe of confidence, security, and profoundly misleading indicators. Deliver us from the dark tunnel of commercial sexploitation, where the breast of our dreams beckons us to suckle the nipple of nostalgia, soothing us into a reverie of market-researched alternatives, turning us into hapless targets for the pickpockets who steal our culture in order to steal our money, in order to seal our fates as slaves to a survival revival of work ethic meltdown, golden years gold rush, a strip mine of nuclear wasted families on the edge of emotional oblivion. Getting radiation fixes from hit-and-run prospectors, corporate raiders of your life savings, and loan sharks devouring the national pie. Slaughterhouse foremen with snakeskin hands, blithely administering the shock of recognition to standing room-only crowds of thrill-seeking video skydivers, etherized by information. Authentic candy-ass charlatans, seizing the airwaves for their blasphemous sales blurbs of scriptural septic sauce, their every deed a defilement of the blessed Nazarene Guru. Soup kitchen rejects and doorway dreamers are not safe from this kind. But leaders will lead somewhere. They may take us down to where grunt meets grunt. Holy salesmen will take to the holes. They may take us down to their dark revelation of sewers and sin, plague and purge, to where the bread crust is cherished, the passbook passé, and dreams are drained from the young and the innocent. If we must meet someday on a muddy field of lifeless dirt, barren and flat, oozing potions of toxic brew, let us sit together where we now stand apart, with nostrils in complete acceptance, with eyes open to the multi-hued sky of a warped chemist utopia. Let our tongues rest comfortably between our teeth, and let our ears hear nothing save our heart's expectant thump. Let every hand clasp hand like roots in soil. Let us watch as the irrational miracle of forgiveness manifests its superiority over our thoughts, our ways and means, our blue ribbon commissions of self-importance junkies. Let our anger turn from lashes to licks, moistening the ground, cleansing the earth, preparing the way.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. I mean, you straight up channeled the beatniks. There was a lot said there. I would like a cop. Well, I have a video now. I can rewatch.
But
Man.
I wanted to defend Alan. You know, I think he had tremendous courage to be who he was back in the 50s. Mm-hmm. This was all going down. And I don't know him at all personally, but I've seen him in situations, you know, chanting beautiful spiritual songs and being a very loving soul. So, you know, I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh, that's so nice. It's good that we've got some positivity going on there for us. I mean, I will say I do immensely respect. It's kind of a privileged place I come from when I'm like, whatever, you know, because luckily we've moved on a bit from when he had to write these things.
Absolutely.
Right? So, and he helped us do that by being a courageous voice. And I can't lose sight of that when I'm looking at his work. And I will say, He has a lot of live recordings of Howl. If you just go on Spotify or YouTube, and you can listen to him read it, and that's an entirely different experience. Like
definitely.
I did it this morning. I listened to it like 3 times while hiking because I didn't know what I was going to write about. I was like, could not figure it out. So I was just listening to it over and over. And then I kind of went with something I had already started. That was great. Thank you so much.
You're
William.
welcome. Thanks for the opportunity.
So I'm next.
Wonderful.
And I did kind of take from the book of Rupert Angel Eyes, where there was one book we had that he didn't, I think Nicole said the same thing. He didn't have a song and he couldn't think of anything, and it was kind of last minute. So he just took some lines from the book, and his song was awesome. It completely made sense. I mean, I know we're just taking it from the book and you probably couldn't publish it very easily, but I did something sort of like that. So in Howl, there are 3 parts to it. And when he reads it live, he'll actually say part 1. And it has, so the very beginning, it says for Carl Solomon. And then that, he starts with a sentence, and then the sentence never really ends, but the sentences go on with who, poverty and tatters, and who bared their brains, who passed through universities, who were expelled. So I took that format for the first part of my song, and I completely decided not to do anything that is even attempts to look like the format of an actual song. So I just did that in the first part. And then in part 2, I sang about America specifically because my interpretation when he talks about Malak in part 2 is that he's talking about America or capitalism specifically. I'm not sure which one, because he definitely was not so fond of capitalism. And then his last one is just telling his friend Carl that he's with him in Rockland. I'm with you in Rockland. It starts that way through every sentence. So I just have like 3 parts to this song. We shall see. And those are the parts, kind of taken from him, but not entirely. All right. We're a sponsor of Bublé. We're not. No money coming in from Bublé. All right, here we go. Oh, hold on. I want to be able to hear my piano, and I don't right now. Do you guys hear the piano? You do? Okay. Just turn myself.
It seems distant.
Okay. It is. The mic is far away, and when I turn it up too loud, then you hear everything, the birds. Okay. Woo!
Rockin'.
Lower. There we go. Now it seems right. Let's start that incredible intro again.
Who faded in the sleepless nights? Who walked aimless, pushing strollers after the cut of a knife? And who created another life? And who ate placental ash in the hopes that they would not lose their joy? And who sat for hours, so scared the fear of loss, an icy hand that held them to the chair? Who coughed and fevered while giving care? Who scribbled stats and taped locks of hair onto paper in memory books? Who plunged toilets, who threw away desires, who cut their own cord, who jumped, who sang? Who lit cigarettes while hiding in the yard, trying to remember what they were going to say? And oh, American, save your money for the future, save your money for the schools, while you work to spend it all on the childcare, lessons, and sports shoes. Oh, American dream, A Coca-Cola scene, a rainbow of children, equal opportunity. But the neighbors have fled inside their fancy homes, leaving the parents to build it all alone. Oh, what's with kids these days, the neighbors say, as they close their doors, expecting these kids to care for them in their old age. Part 3. No, I'm with you, crafting endless hours of paper and glue. Screaming, yelling, throwing fits until the mirror only reflects a stranger. Oh, I'm with you. When America shouts, lean in, and you can have it all until you fall. And then she's silent. Oh, I'm with you. Here on the ground.
Yeah,
Thank you.
really nice.
That is amazing.
Well, you know, I forgot to mention, I also didn't relate because I wasn't thinking about the time. I wasn't giving it respect from the time it came from. And I was thinking, what, these people are just really doing drugs and like passing out and being put away and they can't get control of themselves. So I was trying to figure out how I could relate to that. And I thought, well, and socialism, communism being a big part. And I was like, we don't have like socialized childcare. And that's something I just listened to a lot about, and how that was shot down by Reagan. It was very interesting, this podcast I listened to. So I was like, well, I'll just write it about childcare, socialism in the same style, and it'll sound like I'm really deep. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I loved it. It was wonderful.
And beautiful
Thank you.
music, Stacy.
Thank you.
Nice.
So I don't know if I know how. I didn't ask how to. We have a new songwriter, and I forgot to ask him how to say his last name. So I'm gonna guess. It's Eliot, Eidelman, and I believe Mary. I don't know Mary's last name. He is performing with Mary.
Yes, with Mary Davis, Mary Claire Davis, and you pronounced it the way that I would. There's some dispute amongst my family. But yes, so I was on the beach with Rupert Angel Eyes and was spying his copy of Howl that he brought to write his song for the book club. And on the beach reading it, I was just so taken by the music that is within this poem. So I just wanted to do an interpretation of that. So I'm going to do parts 2, 3, and the footnote to Howl. So if you're reading along from your Howl Pocket Poet series, we'll be starting on page 21 for this service. What stinks of cement and aluminum bashed open their skulls and ate up their brains and imagination? Moloch, solitude, filth, ugliness, ash cans and unobtainable dollars, children screaming under the stairways, boys sobbing in armies, old men weeping in the parks. Moloch, Moloch, nightmare of Moloch, Moloch the loveless, mental Moloch, Moloch the heavy judger of men, Moloch the incomprehensible prison, Moloch the crossbone, soulless jailhouse and congress of sorrows, Moloch whose buildings are judgment, Moloch the vast stone of war, Moloch the stunned governments, Moloch whose mind is pure machinery, Moloch whose blood is running money, Moloch whose fingers are 10 armies, Moloch whose breast is a cannibal dynamo, Moloch whose ear is a smoking tomb, Moloch whose eyes are 1,000 blind windows, Moloch whose skyscrapers stand in the long streets like endless Jehovah's, Moloch whose factories dream and croak in the fog, Moloch whose smokestacks and antennae crown the cities, Moloch whose love is endless oil and stone, Moloch whose soul is electricity and banks, Moloch whose poverty is the specter of genius, Moloch whose fate is a cloud of sexless hydrogen, Moloch whose name is the mind, Moloch in whom I sit lonely, Moloch in whom I dream angels, crazy in Moloch, cocksucker in Moloch, lack love and manless in Moloch. Moloch who entered my soul early, Moloch in whom I am a consciousness without a body, Moloch who frightened me out of my natural ecstasy, Moloch whom I abandoned. Wake up in Moloch, light streaming out of the sky. Moloch, Moloch, robot apartments, invisible suburbs, skeleton treasuries, blind capitals, demonic industries, spectral nations, invincible madhouses, granite cocks, monstrous bombs. They broke their backs lifting Moloch to heaven. Pavements, trees, radios, tons, lifting the city to heaven which exists and is everywhere about us. Visions, omens, hallucinations, miracles, ecstasies, gone down the American River. Dreams, adorations, illuminations, religions, the whole boatload of sensitive bullshit breakthroughs over the river, flips and crucifixions, gone down the flood, highs, epiphanies, despairs, 10 years animal screams and suicides, minds, new loves, mad generations, down to the rocks of time, real holy laughter in the river, they saw it all, the wild eyes, the holy yells, they bade farewell, they jumped off the roof to solitude, waving, carrying flowers, down to the river, into the street. Carl Solomon! I'm with you in Rockland. I'm with you in Rockland. I'm with you in Rockland. I'm with you in Rockland, where you're madder than I am. I'm with you in Rockland, where you must feel very strange. I'm with you in Rockland, where you imitate the shade of my mother, where you murdered your 12 secretaries, where you laugh at this invisible humor. I'm with you in Rockland, where we are great writers on the same dreadful typewriter. With you in Rockland, where your condition has become serious and is reported on the radio. Where the faculties of the skull no longer admit the worms of the senses. Where you drink the teas of the breasts of the spinsters of Utica. Where you put on the bodies of your nurses, the harpies of the Bronx. Where you scream in a straitjacket that you're losing the game of the actual ping pong of the abyss. Where you hang on the catatonic piano. The soul is innocent and immortal. It should never die ungodly in an armed madhouse. Where 50 more shots will never return your soul to the body again from its pilgrimage to a crossing the void. I'm with you in Rockland, where you accuse your doctors of insanity and plot the Hebrew socialist revolution against the fascist national Golgotha. I'm with you in Rockland, where you will split the heavens of Long Island and resurrect your living human Jesus from the superhuman tomb. I'm with you in Rockland, where there are 25,000 mad comrades all together singing the final stanzas of the International. Where we hug and kiss the United States under our bed sheets, the United States that coughs all night and won't let us sleep. Where we wake up electrified out of the comas up by our own souls, airplanes roaring over the roof. They come to drop angelic bombs, the hospital illuminates itself, imagining where walls collapse. Oh, skinny legions run outside. Oh, starry spangled shock of mercy. The eternal war is here. Oh, victory, forget your underwear, we're free. I'm with you in Rockland. In my dreams you walk dripping from a sea journey on the highway across America in tears to the door of my cottage in the western night. Holy, 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 holy. The world is holy, the soul is holy, the skin is holy, the nose is holy, the tongue and cock and hand and asshole holy. Everything is holy, everybody's holy, everywhere is holy, every day is an eternity, every man's an angel. The bum's as holy as the seraphim, the mammon as holy as you, my soul, are holy. Holy, holy, holy. The typewriter is holy, the poem is holy, the voice is holy, the hearers are holy, the ecstasy is holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy Peter, holy Alwyn, holy Solomon, holy Lucian, holy Kerouac, holy Hunky, holy Burroughs, holy Cassidy, holy the unknown Buggard, and suffering beggars, holy the hideous human angels. Holy my mother in the insane asylum, holy the cocks of the grandfathers of Kansas, holy the grinding saxophone, holy the bop apocalypse, holy the jazz bands, marijuana hipsters, peace and junk and drums, holy the solitude of skyscrapers and pavements, holy the cafeterias filled with the millions, holy the mysterious rivers of tears under the streets, holy the lone juggernaut, holy the vast lamb of the middle class, holy the crazy shepherd of rebellion who digs Los Angeles, is Los Angeles, holy New York, holy San Francisco, holy Peoria and Seattle, holy Paris, holy Tangiers, holy Moscow, holy Istanbul, holy time and holy eternity and time, holy the clocks in space, holy the fourth dimension, holy the fifth international, holy the angel and Moloch, holy the sea, holy the desert, holy the railroad, holy the locomotive, holy the visions, holy the hallucinations, holy the miracles, holy the eyeball, holy the abyss, holy forgiveness, mercy, charity, faith, holy hours, bodies, suffering, magnanimity, holy the supernatural, extra brilliant, intelligent kindness of the soul.
Well, that just brought an entirely new
That was
flavor
great.
to the way that I read it.
Oh yeah, that's like
I
how
wish
poems
that-
go, I think, you know, it's like it has to like howl or like you have to like
Yeah.
sing it, you know.
But he doesn't even do it that way. I mean, he just says it. This is the way to hear it. Like, there's a sense of humor in it. You
Yeah,
know? Like, I didn't notice that before. I was taking it very seriously. That was awesome. Thank you. And I'm so glad we ended up changing the order and putting you at the end, because I could not come up with a better ending for the day, the evening.
Well, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share this and take in everything that you've made.
Well, I hope that you join us again. I mean,
I'd
we're
love to.
we're not doing another one till August or September. We're going to kind of get our minds in order. And it's so hot. Like, I feel like that's
Summer
all.
happens as it does.
Yeah, that's what people are going to say. It's just hot. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to try to share something on my screen really quick as before we all leave. It's just, it might come up really tiny. I don't even know what's going to happen. But this is just our info. I came up with that last minute. It's fancy.
Dude, I like this.
So that's our website. This is our email. And if you care to donate, the Stacy Rock Music, that's my personal business Venmo. But since I host the Bushwick Book Club in LA here, we just do it through mine. And it just covers, you know, basic costs, usually the sound guy, but right now, just all the other stuff. And before we go, I would like to thank Susan Huang for doing all of our technical workings in the background.
Susan.
Yes, it makes it so much better. So thank you everyone for being here. William Belote, Richard Alwyn, Nicole Tourtelot, Eliot Eidelman. Is that what I said the first time? I think I said it the first time. You got it. It's correct, at least according to you. I'm not going to show up at a family reunion and shout your last name because I don't want to start anything. And I'm forgetting someone. I know I am. Myself. Did I get all the songwriters? Am I totally blocking someone out? No, I did. All right. Thank you and good night.